borrowers and treating customers like needs to satisfy repeat borrowers. Are you planning a summer trip by car?
And may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
Got a minute? Want the latest on how COVID-19 is impacting business and the economy? Then stay in touch with Marketplace Minute, a podcast and smart speaker briefing updated 3 times daily.
I'm Novosofa with the Marketplace Minute. The number of mortgages 90 or more days overdue soared.
Target just reported that sales rose 24% in the most
California Appeals Court has granted a temporary stay to a San Francisco.
Just ask your smart speaker to play the Marketplace Minute or listen.
Domino's week-long carry-out deal means you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each every day. That's right, $7.99 each, and every day means any day. But just in case there's any confusion, we've set up a helpful website to confirm if today's a day you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each at Domino's. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's week-long carry-out deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes extra large and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
This is Dr. Elizabeth Robinson with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our extended care clinic is open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our office on W.H. Smith Boulevard. We treat a variety of urgent orthopedic conditions without an appointment. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at www.orthoeast.com.
I'm Dan Forrest. Closed schools deny our children their friends, sports, proms, graduations, their childhoods. Once past, these moments are gone forever. There's no scientific reason that justifies the pain and sadness we're causing our children. What's more, closed schools don't work for working parents. Deciding whether to educate your child or work to feed them is a choice no one should have to make. I'm Dan Forrest. When I'm governor, we will protect the vulnerable and reopen our schools. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Dan Forrest.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Okay, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into our show. We were hoping to be recapping East Carolina's first game on this 31st of August. That didn't happen because the game was moved to the 12th. The game's since been postponed indefinitely. We still have September the 26th on our calendar circled because that's the UCF game for East Carolina and the opening game as we sit here right now. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. Ryan Robinson is due in here any second. He is the Executive Associate AD for External Affairs at East Carolina, and he is set to roll in here at any time. So we'll get up with him and get the latest on Pirate football and the preparations for this very, very odd 2020 football season. Back with the Brian Bailey Show for you on this Monday after this.
Bostic Sugg Furniture wants to know, how'd you sleep last night? If you're like thousands, the answer is probably not very well. You're tired, stressed, your job suffers, and worse, your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress, a Consumer's Digest Award winner 13 years running. Restonic Queen mattresses start as low as $4.99. Restonic two-sided Queen mattresses from only $6.99. If you're ready to wake up to a whole new you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3.
It's summertime, and it's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust in our team to improve your vehicle's off-road experience. Give us a call for more information, 252-364-8730. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's menu has grown again with the all-new grilled buffalo chicken papadilla. The papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, and are only $6. Choose from the all-new grilled buffalo chicken, Philly cheesesteak, Italian, pepperoni meatball, and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Pirate Radio.
We have a standard for the way you're going to play, and we're going to start making sure that we point out those that are meeting the standard, and everybody else has to rise to that. You have to. There is no choice. You have to rise to the standard, because the standard is what wins.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show. Guess who just entered the studio? Almost on time. Little late. Sit right here. Yeah, put you right beside the host of the show. Ryan Robinson has gotten here. The Tasmanian Devil himself. Come on in. We're socially distanced. It's about 6 feet between us right here. He is the Executive Associate AD for External Affairs. That's a great title. I don't know if you do anything over there or not, but that's a great title, isn't it?
It is a good title. I wish that was all I did.
Well, you're doing everything these days, aren't you?
With the fellas behind the glass?
Yeah, everybody. Glenn's back there.
Yeah.
Got Clip Brock back there.
Yeah,
So
wearing a Braves hat. Pitching was really well last night. Braves, they really. But no, it is good to be here. It has just been. It's been a busy time. I know for some people that we have a short staff that's in the office right now, so. We got people juggling a lot of different things right now.
Yeah, and it's really strange because, like you said, it's a busy time, and it's busy because you're always on the fly shuffling things. Isn't that right? I mean, normally we know what we have to do. We're all busy this time of year, and we know exactly what happens. But now it's like you have a lull, and then all of a sudden it's a firestorm because you're trying to scramble to react to what's going on.
Yeah, it's funny. On my way over here, a donor asked me, "Are we going to play football?" And I said,
"Yeah."
Hey, I don't know.
I wish I had $1 every time somebody asks me.
You've got to be prepared for it. And I think that's what we have went through so many scenarios. And you're just trying to find out, what could happen if this happens? If this happens, what could happen? And also, part of my position right now is running the Pirate Club. So I spend a lot of time on that, which I've really enjoyed because we have just unbelievable donors in this community and region. So every day, I told John Gilbert the other day, I feel like I can't count how many times I've walked in the office with a full plan of what we were going to get done.
Yeah.
It completely changes in an hour.
That's what John Gilbert said last week on the Zoom media conference. He said, you won't believe the days that I know I've got to work on this one topic for 8 hours that day, and I get in and I never even get to that topic because there's all this other stuff going on.
Well, the marshal I don't even remember what day we announced that, Thursday or Friday. That happened pretty quickly.
Yeah.
As you're dealing with, COVID and testing and what you're allowed to do. And, I think the most important thing for us for this whole COVID thing is making sure our student athletes are safe. And I do think our trainers have been amazing with the protocols they put in place. But we got to do right. We've got to make sure it's a safe and healthy environment before we can kind of continue. You're seeing that with schools across the country.
Right. I talked to Coach Houston earlier today, and he said they hope to be back at it tomorrow. He can't guarantee it, but he really feels confident that that's the way it's going to go. But you never know.
No, I've stopped trying to guess when it comes to COVID. But again, I can't say enough. Like the protocols we have in place, our student athletes have been amazing. This is not easy.
No, it can't be.
It's not easy for 18, 19-year-olds to be told, hey, you're positive, or, hey,
you're asymptomatic.
You're in quarantine. You've got to be away 14 days, or, it's not easy for adults, but for them, they've kind of taken it, and I know they have anxiety. It's frustrating. Some of them, quite frankly, are just angry. But hopefully we can continue this stretch, and, hopefully we can play football on, September 28th, which seems like 5 months from now, but it's, less than a month, and that's what we're preparing. We spent some time this morning talking about parking lots and tickets, and our fans have been great. And I'll tell you, as you go through it, we sent out some information on Friday, and all of our season ticket holders will get something this week. There's still a lot of questions that after we sent it out, we said, you know what, we need to do like a Q&A, because there's some stuff that they asked that's really good questions.
Right.
That we got to get answered. So we're going to be communicating with them in person, or communicating them via email. I think the biggest thing, Brian, when it comes to football is, obviously the governor will make another decision on, I believe it's September 9th for stage 2, or September 9th for something being enacted September 11th. So we have got to continue to...
that's the first domino, right?
It's the first domino, and I can't say enough about Dr. Silvernail. Dr. Silvernail from Pitt County Health Department. He has been unbelievable to work with, and he's kind of taking us through. Hey, here's the different scenarios. So, obviously, on September 13th, I'd say we'll have more information of what it would look like for the Central Florida game. But right now, I think the limit on mass gatherings, if I'm wrong, is probably about 25 people.
Yeah, and it was funny that you said that because, I thought on August 1st we'll know a lot more about this football season, and we didn't know a daggone thing, did we?
I feel like right now I know as much as I knew on August 1st, and the way the staff is growing at the Pirate Radio, they might be over 25. So we can't even get all the Pirate Radio staff into the game right now.
They may not all be credentialed.
Yes,
that's for sure.
You're right, Brian. Like I thought about it the other day. I don't know if I know more right now than I knew.
No, I mean,
August.
It's just and everybody wants to know what do you. I'm lucky that I'm close enough to some of you guys to know a little bit about what's happening, but and most of it you have to wait because the Marshall game. I'd heard rumors that maybe, and I was on the side of no. Let's don't push that. Let's don't postpone that game. But it was postponed.
Well, we wouldn't have been able to play on August 29th.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's
and
true.
I know a lot of people have asked about September 19th, and I think there's a lot of issues there. I mean, John Gilbert will tell you is, first of all, not a lot of games out there. And I think we've got to get back on the football field first.
Oh, yeah.
And prepare for a season. I don't know how many.
I think in some ways Coach Houston would like to have a game there, but I think Coach Houston also thinks in the back of his mind that we may need that extra week, as far as conditioning. Conditioning is the thing that I'd be worried about.
Yeah, that's hard, man. It's hard on these young athletes, their psyche to stop and stop,
right.
Pause.
I think that's the hardest thing.
I think, what are we now, probably 11 days? I don't even know.
I think so.
We really haven't been in pads or anything. So, and I speak to a lot of schools across the country, and I do like how we have been transparent in our approach, but trust me, there are a lot of schools that are pausing for 3 or 4 days. They're just not announcing it.
Right.
We've tried to be transparent of, hey, here's what we're doing, but every school is dealing with this issue. And right now, it's really the contact tracing and the quarantine. I believe I was watching a football game on Saturday, and like Austin Peay's receiver was out because he was part of a quarantine, close contact. And that's going to be part of college football this year.
Yeah, I think that's the most complicated part of this whole thing. It's one thing if you test positive, another thing if you test positive and you don't have any symptoms. But the worst part is the contact tracing, and you've been around somebody that might have. And then, I take Bella to school every morning, and they have a series of questions that they ask. And one of the questions they ask, have you been around anybody that might have tested positive for COVID-19? They won't let them back into school if they have. So, there's just so much to that. But if you're playing football and somebody has, you're going to be around them. When you make that tackle.
See the tests that were done when Austin Peay and Central Arkansas, I guess they'll test again this week. But you watch the NFL. They're in pads now too, and they haven't had a lot of issues. They probably are in more of a bubble than we are. Man, listen, it's a lot of people want to blame certain people, but this virus is. You can't stop it. You can be in a bubble, and we're not in a bubble.
Right.
John Gilbert said, I saw a Major League Baseball game got postponed yesterday.
Seems like there's one every day.
You never know when it's going to happen, and I hate it because you don't want any kid to get sick, and but you just got to deal with it head on. I think for a lot of our football team, it's how are we going to deal with it? Are we going to complain, or are we going to say, hey, we're going to have a lot of these inconveniences throughout the season? I'm trying to take that approach personally, Brian, because I think last month I got really of a lull of, man, something every day, but now it's like I'm expecting it.
Right.
Something else is going to happen today. How are you going to deal with it?
I didn't think I would be able to handle high school football being canceled until the spring, but it's kind of like by the time it happened, I was kind of like expecting it when they made the announcement. It really didn't bother me because I thought I would have been more surprised if they had let them play in the fall. And I think that's where we're at right now. You wake up and you hate, one day you're riding a roller coaster, you're up here and you're like, okay, they're going to play. They're going to play. It's going to be a college football, and then you come flying down the roller coaster.
I fully expect that we're going to play Central Florida, and that's what we're preparing for. I do have a cough, but it's asthma. It's nothing related to,
it's nothing
related to anything. So, but I do think we are going to play football. I think the biggest question is going to be who's going to be in attendance,
right,
and how we can do that. And I think John is 100% correct. It is week to week. I think our attendance has a chance to increase week to week. And I understand the fans that want to opt out. I get it. This is not going to be a normal football season.
Nothing normal about it. Nothing at all.
But we need the support. We're still, I think we're paying about $8.5 million in student athlete scholarships, which is incredible. And so we need the support for the Pirate Club. But I definitely understand the fans that want to opt out. And we're going to try to make that process as clean as possible. Moving forward.
Claude, I told you the Central Arkansas game. I told you Scottie Pippen would catch that touchdown pass in the final minute or so and win the game.
Nailed that one.
Yeah, I nailed it, except for it wasn't Scottie. But it was somebody.
One of his nephews.
It was somebody that caught that touchdown pass.
I turned it on for a little bit. I've been kind of getting into. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much, but Major League Baseball and watching a lot of Netflix and. What is the high school football in this area doing? I haven't even.
They start practicing February. Then don't quote me on the dates, but I think it's February the 8th. They can start practice. They can do some conditioning and stuff before that, but February 8th is the first day of practice. That's going to be weird going out for the first day of high school football practice because usually it's in August. Yeah, wow. So that's in February. And February 26th is their first game, and they're allowed to play. I think they have. 9 weeks to play 7 games, I think is how they're going to do it. And then they're still trying to put the nuts and bolts together to play a state championship, to play a playoff. But I don't think there hasn't been an announcement that I know of as of yet. I don't know what the talk is there. But it's just, this whole thing, I thought it would affect high school football, some of the fall sports. What it's done in North Carolina, it's affected all the sports, because all the sports now have been, crushed down to hardly anything.
What got me, Brian, and you got me onto this, the Exceptional Baseball League, but driving by that area now and just seeing the players on the field, but there's no fans.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday, you
like
go
Little League,
it is packed.
Yeah.
And now I drive through there, and there's just a limited amount of cars.
Yep. They did a great job getting to play. Brian Weingarts and Ann and everybody over there did a great job of getting those kids. We couldn't do anything in the Exceptional League just because we have so many other factors that are involved in this kind of thing. But
I will tell you one thing. So Drew Steele is back at work now. That's been a big. That's been. He's asked for a long time, and he's back at work. So anyway, he comes into my office the other day, and Coach Steele has him wearing gloves and a mask. Well, he asked me, he said, when is this thing leaving? And he's got the mask all the way just to his mouth.
Yeah.
I said, well, first of all, you're not wearing the mask the right way. But Drew asked me every day, when are we playing football? And it means a lot to people.
Oh, yeah, it does.
And that's the thing.
No question.
People like Drew and these kids, like that's what they look forward to. So I think I'm excited about what we can do for our community. And I really hope we can get fans as we move forward.
Ronnie Robinson's our guest in the studio. We'll take a commercial break right now. If you want to tweet a question out, Clip will be looking at the old Twitter feed to see if there's anything on your mind on this Monday. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, your home for Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, and Kawasaki motorcycles in eastern North Carolina. Ron Ayers, north of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville. The Pirates are evaluating the health and safety of the football team before deciding on resuming practice. ECU has not practiced for 10 days. The Pirates are scheduled to play UCF in Greenville September the 26th. Ohio State defensive tackle Haskell Garrett was shot yesterday in Columbus. He is in stable condition. Police are not releasing details regarding the shooting. The Big Ten is now talking about starting its season Thanksgiving weekend. The Orioles lost to the Blue Jays 6-5. The Orioles play the Jays again today at 2. The Yankees and the Mets played a doubleheader, and the Yankees won both games. The first game 8-7 in 8 innings, and game 2 the Yanks win again 5-2 also in 8 innings. The Braves beat the Phillies in a slugfest 12-10. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get auto, home, life, and business insurance all from one agency? Well, that's where the Gavigan Agency comes in. They can help protect what is important to you. So why not simplify your life? See the Gavigan Agency in Greenville or give them a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
The Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at QualityEquip.com.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
This is former ECU football player Bryce Williams, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. This is The Brian Bailey Show. Ryan Robinson, Executive Associate AD for External Affairs. It kind of just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? You got a title like that.
You know, Brian, I'm the kind of guy, I like to throw my business card out to people when I'm out and about.
Can you get all that on a business card?
Well, I give them the business card, and then I say, hey, there's some more to that title.
And then you give them the business.
Yeah, then I give them the business. I wished it was that easy, but it's not the case.
How's your handicap these days? You playing any golf?
I will tell you, we've had a lot of weekends off.
All right.
So I have played a lot of golf, down to about probably a 9 or 10.
Oh, that's nice.
But
at Brook Valley, that's tough.
Those guys beat me like a drum.
Ah.
The story of my life, Brian, I shot a 38 yesterday from the blue tees.
Ooh.
Followed it up with a 48.
Yeah, that's.
It's just, those guys really enjoy playing with me because they understand that they're going to be able to buy dinner for their wives after the round. But yeah, that's been good. But I think with golf in general, you're starting to see more people out there. But man, I want to be in Dowdy Ficklin Stadium.
Oh, I do too.
I want to be in Minji's Coliseum. I want to be Clark LeClaire, and we just got to keep doing what we can to make it a safe environment. But I was telling you off air. I mean, every time I think we're out of the woods, I'll get more information about here's these positive tests, and sometimes 2 positive tests leads to 12 student athletes.
Right. Let's talk about that and explain it to everybody, because I don't think, when I first heard the term contact tracing, I thought that was some kind of term to try to figure out where it came from. Which it is, but I didn't realize that if you're involved in that chain of contact tracing, that you're out for a long time.
Our trainers and the University of Student Health do a really good job of going back and it would be hard to do for a person like Brian Bailey, his lifestyle, but going back and finding out who you had contact with over a certain amount of time and when the virus hit. And that's what the thing, the quarantine part, it's hard for me to understand. It's hard for 18, 19-year-olds to say, hey, you're quarantined for 14 days because you were in close proximity of this person. But that's why the importance of is wearing a mask. And I've been, at first I wasn't, but now I wear it everywhere. And it's hard. And that takes time. Like we'll find out the positive test, but then in a couple of days you end up finding out who had to be quarantined and who, was picked up on the contact tracing. So we're going to get through it. I've learned a lot about the medical industry. Mike Hanley from our department has done an incredible job with Dr. Joe Arman at Vidant. Can't say enough, man. They have been leaders. And then our trainers, and it's not just the head trainers, the Zach Walmart, Jake Moore, it's the student trainers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're there every day checking temperatures. I can't say enough about their commitment and their loyalty.
Mike Hanley's an absolute gem. I mean, he's a great guy.
I call him Dr. Hanley.
Yeah, I've known him for a long, long time, and he's just a great guy.
He is very organized.
Very lucky to have him.
Love to be around Mike.
Coach Houston was telling us today when he got tested. He said that long Q-tip. He says it went past his brain into some other cell up there.
They stuck it up mine so bad that I felt like, hey, listen, I don't have much of a brain up there, so if you're looking for it, but it's uncomfortable and. It's amazing, like the NBA and some of these leagues that are getting it every day.
Yeah.
But you know what? It is. John Gilbert always says, like, it's reality right now.
It is.
There is no new normal. This is the normal.
Well, there are certain phrases I hope I never hear again. Contact tracing is one of those I hope I never hear. The new normal I hope I never hear. Coronavirus I hope I never hear. COVID-19.
Mine is symptomatic. He's
asymptomatic. Yeah. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
I had to look it up.
Yeah, it's but what's interesting, what I've learned a lot about people through all this, man, we got some strong people, and this community is amazing. If if you can't tell by my physique, I like to eat out a lot, and I'm trying to eat, local.
Yeah.
I had Chico's last night, and I think that's what we just got to continue to support this community, because take away ECU for a minute, man, there's a lot of businesses hurting.
Right.
A lot of people are hurting. A lot of individuals are hurting. And I really want to see Greenville, because before this hit, I'd love to come to Uptown. It was just, man, it was going.
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
And this is really taking a hit. So
Free Boot Friday, I'm going to miss that a lot, because that was a lot of fun down there.
First one I went to, I thought, they're selling me a bag of goods. It can't be that good, And, man, I went down, I went, wow. I mean, these people are packed in the streets.
The time that Parmalee played, I had a chance to do some stuff on stage because WNCT was one of the sponsors, and just looking out. I mean, I felt like a rock star all of a sudden. There's so many people there, and it's just such a neat.
And I miss I miss that. I miss the Meet the Pirates was always one of my favorite things. So we're going to get back to that. It's just the virus is kind of calling the shots right now. And we'll be ready, and that's where we go into tickets. I mean, we have so many different scenarios that could happen. I mean, we could go on September 11th, Brian, from 25 people to 500, or you could have 5,000.
Right.
So we got to be ready, and the students are a large part of that.
So that was my next question. If they let, say, 20% in or whatever the number is, and, I show up with my family, and I've got these 4 seats, and Joe shows up with his family, and those 4 seats are right beside him, which group moves? Is it going to be like first come, first serve?
It'll be based off priority.
Right.
And so if Brian Bailey's sitting in the purple chairbacks, and you have 4 seats, you would not have assigned seats, but there would be 4 seats that we're going to know how many people we put in.
Right.
So you're going to go down and sit there, and then between you, we'll have enough social distancing, the 6 feet, to where someone might have 3 seats.
That's complicated, isn't it?
But we're trying to make it very simple by this zoned approach, where it'd be, hey, Brian Bailey, you're in zone 1, so you have a seat in the purple chairbacks.
Right.
On the south side of the stadium. The suites and everything will be a little easier, just because there are some kind of enclosed spaces. But I would be, Brian, if we can get to 20%, man, I would be a happy person. I don't think we're going to get to 20% right off the bat. Like right now, we're at about 10,650 student season tickets. Then you have the student part. So there's going to be some people we're not going to be able to get in the game unless this really goes to like 30%.
Right.
I mean, that's just reality. And I understand we don't want anybody to lose their seats. Like I said, I talked to some schools. They said, man, people are opting out like crazy. Our fans really haven't done that.
Yeah.
They want to be there. That's pretty exciting.
Well, they're used to these Eastern North Carolina summers, so they can handle just about anything.
Yeah, but it's but I mean, how about a way to start the season? I know Coach Houston probably doesn't like it, but Central Florida could be
I hope I'm not stepping on his toes. Coach Houston did make the comment. He said, how about that for my new defensive coordinator, Blake Harrell? I love him and everything, and now he's got UCF right off the bat.
But, I was telling somebody, just think if it was a first game we could really have fans, our fans would be...
Oh, it'd be great. Yeah.
They'd be going crazy. So it's unfortunate, but, hey, we got some good games. I think we played Navy October 16th or 17th, and just think how much can change from the 28th to then.
Right.
So that Navy game is a game I've really got on my radar with our staff about, man, if we can just get through it, we could have some fans at that game. And our fans love tailgating. We're not going to be able to tailgate right now. We just got to wait and see how this thing plays out.
Now, the tailgating situation, there's no tailgating on East Carolina property.
Yeah. So Brian Bailey's house, if it's okay by ECU PD, Clip Brock and all his crew can tailgate wherever they want.
So what about like the elementary schools right there?
No, those will be closed. So those are all lots that will. I mean, and I think that's something that obviously the ECU PD will control, but we're not going to be able to have tailgating on our lots. I mean, if we only have 1,000 fans, we've got to kind of create a bubble too that for both teams that are coming in. I mean, they've got it now, Brian, where you're going to look at, and you probably already know this, but basically the sidelines could extend from the 10-yard line.
Right, I heard that. The American's going to do that.
Like when Central Florida goes into their visiting area, no one can be around them. I mean, they've got to kind of create a bubble from their locker room to the field, and it's safe. But it's going to be a totally different look. Coaches wearing masks on the sideline, which could be good because Coach Houston gets a little fired up. Maybe
they don't have to hide their lips anymore.
Yeah, but it's going to be different. Not having Brian Bailey down there, our cheerleaders and our dance and band aren't on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot different.
It's going to be a lot different, but, I was telling Eric Ward the other day, who does our game day, just adjust.
Yeah.
And we'll get through it. I think what's going to be interesting, Brian, as you go into basketball, you're going to see probably more in basketball than you saw in football because with people so close to the arena, and if we're still where we're at now, you're going to see a lot of movement back. You're going to probably see some plexiglass around the scores table just because it's indoor.
Yeah, that's something too. I talked to Joe Dooley one day this summer. I saw him somewhere, and he said we're having to put like our point guard, separate them because if you get one of them sick, you got to have a point guard. So we've already mapped all that out.
He's catching passes with gloves on and a mask. They've been really good. Men's basketball, women's basketball have been really good about. A lot of times you're not doing team a lot. You're just doing kind of 2 or 3 at a time, and you have to realize too. I think a lot of people look at these student athletes as, man, nothing bothers them. This has bothered them.
Oh yes, there's no doubt.
This causes a lot of anxiety. It causes a lot of anxiety for me. Just the constant change. Okay, we're going to start school. Now we're going remote.
Right.
Just think of all the changes we've all had. But we're very fortunate to be here in this kind of community with people here. And, I think, too, Brian, when I look at some of the stuff that hasn't stopped, one thing that hasn't stopped, the Clip Brought Trivia Night.
That's right.
Has it had any kind of pause?
We had a pause for a while.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
I
had a long pause.
I didn't know we had a pause, but there are certain
You got to get out there. Have you been out there for that?
I haven't been out there.
Well, you got to
really never been invited.
Clip. You didn't invite our guests to your trivia night?
You really want to talk about this on the air? Or
yeah, I need to come out there. But that is a staple. And I bring up this funny, but that's what makes Greenville awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Those kind of things, man, that's what makes it all about. Clip's been doing this. You go to certain restaurants, and on a day of week, that's going to be there. And we got to get back to that, and hopefully we can sooner rather than later.
Ryan Robinson, ECU Executive Associate AD for External Affairs, our guest in the studio on this Monday. We'll take another commercial break. We'll come back with more, and we'll talk about parking and what some of the plans are with that, some of the student plans, that kind of thing. Back with more after this.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
It's almost quitting time, but your family's hunger is gearing up for the night shift. Now, you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could drop a big bow box on it. Because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, you can clock out and spend some quality time with a delicious dinner. Now, when it comes to sneaking a biscuit on the drive home, that's all you. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Know what I like most about my new phone from US Cellular?
I don't know.
That it was $700 off.
What? Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest phones. US Cellular. Choose fair.
Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line, port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local US Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local US Cellular authorized agent.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, West, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
Looking for your next career opportunity or even just some extra cash to help pay for school? Your locally owned Dixon Foods McDonald's is hiring across Eastern North Carolina. They offer flexible hours, competitive pay, and even financial support to pursue your education through McDonald's Archways to Opportunity program. With plans to provide more than 100 new jobs currently, we hope you'll visit DixonFoods.com to learn more. Dixon Foods, proud to be your locally owned and locally operated franchisee for McDonald's.
Pirate Radio. The voice of the Pirate Nation.
1, 2, 3,
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back. Ryan Robinson, Executive Associate AD, External Affairs at East Carolina. Nice enough to join us on this Monday. We've had Blake Harrell, the defensive coordinator at East Carolina, slated the last 2 weeks. But until we get back to football at East Carolina, we can't get him on. So hopefully we'll either have him on next week or the week after that. But
he might have a little bit more juice than I do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fired up guy, but he's
he's got some juice now. Yeah, he can bring it. And Coach Houston was very complimentary of him when I talked to Coach earlier today about him and the defense that they've installed, and very excited about everything like that. So
Blake's he's a good man, first of all, and this means something to him, and that's what I love. Like ECU football, he loves being here and wants to be a part of it. So I told him, I said, everybody's going to love you until after the first game.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, do all your interviews and everything you can now, because I said after the first game, the critique will come.
I told Rick Smith when he took over as defensive coordinator after one of those bad defensive years for East Carolina, I said, man, you cut it down to 25 points a game, they'll build a statue of you out front of Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. But,
yeah, I'm excited. I think we got a good football team. Obviously, there's so many different factors, but when you return a quarterback like Holton and some of the weapons we have and just the culture that Mike has built, I mean, you're around it, but like these guys love being around each other.
Yeah.
And this means something to them. So I'm excited about that, but I think just ECU athletics in general, we have some really good programs. I tell you, the program that I keep telling everybody, women's basketball program is getting ready to they're building something there that's pretty special as well. It's a really good group of ladies and coach, and I know Coach Dooley obviously we're recruiting well, and baseball, we know what baseball is going to be just because the culture that Cliff has built inside there.
Yeah, and you think, I always think back to this whole thing, two things. I think about Cliff and those guys going down to Wilmington to play a baseball game, and they get the call that the Ivy League, is not going to play any more spring sports, and Columbia was coming to town, and they're scrambling to try to find a team to play. And then I think about, that Thursday, I was at the ACC tournament. I got there that morning to watch the 4 games there and to cover the 4 games. That's when it really gets started. The ACC starts on Tuesday, but the really good teams play on Thursday, and they were going to play. They're all set, and then it started snowballing. The American canceled about the same time I think the Big Ten did. The Big East canceled at halftime of one of their games. I mean, and then the NCAA tournament, the same day. What a terrible day.
We're in Fort Worth, Texas, and obviously for the men's basketball tournament, we're rushing back to get on the flight, and this is how news changed so fast. JJ calls us and says, hey, baseball, they got it canceled against, was it Columbia?
Columbia, I think.
They want to try to get another team in here. Are we okay bringing another team in? Within an hour, I'm showing John a tweet the NCAA basketball tournament was canceled.
Right.
So I'm like, we're sitting here worried about bringing a baseball team in, and now everything's canceled. And I remember we flew back, and, we had to met with our men's basketball players, and it's like the next steps. At first you're saying, hey, stay here. This is the safest place for you. A week later, it's, hey, everybody needs to go home.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a while. So, but I will tell you, I think the communication has been really well, and I think that's That's all you can do during times like this.
All right, and some of the sports right now are doing different things. Like if you watch Fox Baseball, they'll put like a computer animated crowd up there on one camera angle, then it's gone to the next camera angle. Some teams are doing cutouts. Have you guys thought about cutouts?
Yeah, we thought about cutouts.
Are they too expensive to do?
No, they're not. They're definitely not well, first of all, they're not a moneymaker. So we wouldn't be doing it for that. I would like to go that route. I think we have to see, what our capacity could be, where you can put them. I think I was watching the Phillies last night. They have a ton of them.
Yes, I think that's where I saw it. Yeah.
And I've seen some with just a couple rows.
You could put a Drew Steele cutout on the field, folding towels. And
Drew Steele would definitely get one. There's some other people I think I would make personally just to have out there. But I think that is something we're talking about. And obviously, we need people to support IMG and our marketing partner, because I think as you go through times like this, we understand businesses, and we're not going to have we don't have fans, you're not having in-game presentations, but as we move forward, we are going to still have our in-game presentation. Our sponsors are so important to us. That's why this year, I think when John said it before, it's not a revenue year, it's a survival year.
Yeah.
And we really want these partners to stay with us. Hopefully we can get back to some kind of normalcy next year.
And that's the hard part, because there's so many sponsors. I know Megan over at IMG, they do a great job with trying to get all this stuff organized with East Carolina, and it's a team effort. But it's hard to go out and sell something when you don't even know what you can sell, because you don't know who's going to be there. You don't know if you're going to have 10,000, 20,000, 0,000.
It's hard, and that's why at the end of the day, you just got to ask people to hang with you. It's a partnership. We're going to do right by them, and we understand where we're at right now, but the future's bright. I'm so excited every day I come into the office about the people we have there, and I've learned a lot about our staff and our coaches through this pandemic, and we got really good people.
When you look at the day-to-day operations right now, I mean, do you wake up and kind of, you hate to look at your phone to see what the next email is going to look like?
Yeah, I told John what I've tried to do now is not look at email before I go to bed. If I get one, it'll affect my sleep. Yeah, it's just the text messages where, hey, come to my office, Marshall called, or we got to deal with this, or hey, we have 4 or 5 positives here. Here's what's going to happen. And it takes up your whole day. I think some of our staff probably doesn't realize when I'm like, hey, I can't deal with it. And for the next 8 hours, I'm in a room with John and others, and we're trying to figure it out. So that's happening a lot lately. But, man, it's why you get in this business. There are a lot of people who are hurting right now. No one should feel sorry for Ryan Robinson. And I think the more we can do, and I really mean this, we've got to do more in this community, because we got to support these local businesses and individuals. They're what makes, when I tell people how special East Carolina is, it's because of, the Chico's and all these restaurants in Uptown and all these areas. We've got to support it, because, as you know, Brian, you have some that are just people going out of business.
Right.
And I don't know if they're ever going to get back. And that's what makes this place special. They love the Pirates, but we got to love them back.
That's the thing. When this thing hit, and I've got a lot of friends that own restaurants and own businesses and stuff, and it was almost like you had to rally together. And some of the restaurants survived with takeout and that kind of thing. But it was just, it's been, to me, part of it's been really scary, because I never thought we'd see something like this. When they first put us at home and said, you can't, you're not supposed to go anywhere unless it's just a grocery store. I mean, it was really, it was tough.
Yeah. And we're taking a hit, obviously, financial, and that's well documented. But, there are people, I've talked to certain people like, man, that restaurant over there is closed, or that store is not reopening. And that's tough to take, but we've got to rally around people here, and hopefully ECU football and our athletic program can be a rallying point.
Is there a chance that the Pirates will add a game or two, or is that still in the process?
Yeah, I would love to see us, probably more towards the end of the year. I mean, John will have to talk to other schools. There's not a ton of schools looking for games, but I'd like to see us add one more towards the end of the year, Brian, for the reason we might have to have fans.
Well, and is Marshall still in the picture? I mean, is there a chance that...
Oh, yeah, I think Marshall's definitely in the picture, and I think it's just John working out a date with their AD, but, obviously we think our capacity could increase as we go throughout the year, and we'll probably be healthier, we'll have a better set of all the different protocols and tests. But no, I definitely think Marshall is a strong possibility. And right now we're planning on playing it. Just got to pick the date.
Yeah, it's funny because, you never heard of stuff like this until fairly recently. The hurricane, comes and all of a sudden you're playing state at the end of the year, which was not on the schedule. And now this schedule, I don't even know why some of the publications even have schedules published, because they're all wrong now.
Oh, they are. I got this app that I go to for scores, and it's like postpone, cancel, postpone.
The score app, probably. That's what I go to. Yeah.
And it's funny watching the NFL preseason every night.
Yeah.
Postpone. Yeah, John's having those conversations, but he wants to be deliberate in his approach, and I don't blame him, because I think there's just so many factors. I remember 2 weeks ago, everybody saying, hey, you all need to play September 5th. We wouldn't have been able to play this week.
Right. I think that's a lot of people don't realize. You're right with all the testing.
I remember looking back going, well, we can't play on September 5th because of the governor, the orders. Right. But that's how quickly things change. Just 2 weeks ago, everybody was September 5th. But I knew that wasn't going to be a possibility. Just because with the testing and the protocols in place, we wouldn't be able to play a football game on Saturday, obviously.
When you look at what the NCAA said, as far as players don't have to count this year of eligibility, and obviously they're doing that because they don't know if they're going to play 8 games, 9 games, 10 games, 4 games. But with that in mind, how does that affect budgets?
It affects it a lot, and I think those are conversations we got to continue to have. This year we spent, I think it was $300,000 for if you remember the spring, the student athletes are allowed to have an extra year, baseball, track. So those are conversations we're continuing to have. We're not going to be a school that's going to be able to have 130 people on our football teams.
Right.
We can't afford it. Like I said, we're paying about $8.5 million right now for scholarships. So those are conversations we'll continue to have. We got a really good financial picture in place. We had a really good, before this pandemic, man, we were going down a path of how we could get, lower our deficit. Obviously, that's changed now because now we have no idea.
Right.
If we don't play football, if we play some games, what our deficit's going to be at the end of the year, but it's going to be significant, I will tell you that.
Were you surprised that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 did what they did so early?
I wasn't, Brian. I was surprised that the other Power Fives didn't do it.
Okay.
Now, I thought the SEC, being a part of the SEC, I knew they would kind of wait, but I was more surprised that the Big 12 didn't. And really my opinion, when those two left, I thought, you know what, this is going to be a trick.
That's what I thought. I thought it was the start, but it hadn't turned out to be. And now there's a lot in the Big Ten, and they're starting to trickle back. And at first they said we might play January 1st for opening games. Now they're saying Thanksgiving might be our opening day.
It is hard to believe that, Ohio State or Michigan wouldn't be able to compete for a national championship.
It's crazy. It should be everybody or nobody. But I think the Americans got to take advantage of that, don't they?
And the one thing I will say, I don't know their particular situations, whether they have student athletes or myocarditis. I don't know their situations from a testing and protocol, so it's hard because somebody might look and say, hey, ECU, why are you paused for 10 days? Well, we have our medical information, so I don't know what they're dealing with, but it is hard for me to not see a Michigan and Ohio State play this year. But I'm telling you, Brian, it's the reality, man. We're going to continue to see some crazy stuff.
You got a lot of friends in the NFL. How have they dealt with all this?
They're doing well. They get tested every day. They have a little bit of a bubble. I think all bets are off when you start traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So Major League Baseball saw.
Yeah.
When you start traveling and you're not in a full bubble, so they're going to have to deal with that. But I think a lot of them are moving forward with 0 fans, and they're in full training camp mode right now, so it's going to be interesting. I love the NFL, but it's going to be interesting to see once they start traveling, and does one positive test cancel a game?
Right. It does it, because if one does, then we may see a lot of cancel. And then if you start canceling games, it's not like baseball where you can make them up with doubleheaders or try to get close. But with football, that's a big week.
And I know you're thinking about how empty Jerry's Dome is going to be.
Here's what I'm thinking about, because I am a big Dallas Cowboy fan, and I got a chance to go last year, and I think back to that weekend, and that was the SMU game, which was a great game for East Carolina. I mean, they played their tails off, and it was so much fun to watch, and came up just short, but it was just a fantastic week, and got in there on Friday and got to see Frisco with a star and where they practiced and everything, and it was just a neat. I think to myself now, if this, if that was coming up, I wouldn't be able to do any of that.
No.
You can't travel, because hardly anybody's going to be traveling with East Carolina. Unless you're on the football team, you're probably not traveling.
It's going to be a limited travel party, and that's the part, Brian. I mean, every school is going to have to deal with the travel.
Yeah.
Coming across people that maybe they haven't been tested, and you have.
Right.
So the bubble does work. I mean, I think the NBA and the WNBA has proved that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's just a crazy, crazy time. All right, we'll take our final commercial break right now. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up with Ryan Robinson for you coming up on this Monday here on the Brian Bailey Show right after this.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded, hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals, reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
Your power's out. There's a water leak. What do? For these and other utility-related emergencies, you need service, and you want it fast. There are 2 things you can do to get the quickest response if you're a GUC customer. First, you can call the hotline at 1-855-767-2482 and report any utility-related emergency. That number is also on GUC.com. Or second, you can give GUC your phone number. The hotline process is quickest when their account records have your current phone number. Service you can count on. Greenville Utilities.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit PestTechOfGreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
This is Coach Steve Shankweiler, offensive line coach for East Carolina University football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday as we continue on with Ryan Robinson. He is the Executive Associate AD for External Affairs. Got about 4 or 5 minutes to go to wrap things up with Ryan. First of all, we certainly appreciate you coming on because I know it's a busy time. And it's busy in a different way because, as you said, you wake up, and you start reading your emails, and you got all this stuff going on that you didn't know you had the day before. It's just a different time because of the COVID.
And I usually eat lunch every day with John Gilbert and J.J. McGlam in the conference room. So I'm looking forward to popping over to Jimmy John's, having a sandwich real quick in peace and quiet.
I don't blame you there.
I'm looking forward to that. And I think it's the small things in life, Brian.
Yes, it is, especially with everything that's going on. Now, we talked a little bit about the students, but they'll be a part of what you guys decide to do as far as attendance goes, right?
Yeah, there'll be a percentage of them. Now, obviously, Brian, we're going to have to social distance.
Right.
We're going to have
That's
to
a little different in the boneyard, isn't it?
It is, and we're going to have to wear masks. So obviously, you're not going to be able to get 7,000 students in there. So we'll have a percentage of students with a percentage of our season ticket holders. You still got, our student athletes' families. You've got some tickets that go into a trade with our IMG partnership. So we've got all that kind of set, and it'll really depend on the percentage we have every game. But I mean, you can't go in Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium without that student support, and they were incredible last year, and they will be a part of this. Now, I don't know, obviously we don't have all of our students on campus.
Right.
So we'll get a better idea of that, but they'll get a percentage like everybody as we kind of go through this. And I think that's the biggest key is we're not going to be 100%.
I hadn't even thought about this until just now, but is Steve the Pirate, is he part of the pregame?
Steve the Pirate right now would not be on the field.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
You're not going to have, full transparency, we're not going to have the cannon and all this stuff.
No cannon?
We won't be able to have anything on the field right now.
Yeah.
So when we do our starting lineups, there's not going to be the smoke. I mean, it's going to be
it'll be different.
running out, because that whole area where they come out now will have to be blocked off. I mean, that's the bubble. Because I think right now they're talking about testing them on Thursday. Is that right, or Wednesday?
I think so.
So once you get tested, you're trying to remain in that bubble. So it's going to be a lot different. But I'm asking everybody to kind of bear with us. But we're going to do some cool stuff, virtual, social media that we're working through. We might have our own little virtual cannon going off.
That'd be good.
Yeah, because that's still the video of you in the cannon still goes down as probably one of the greatest things I've ever watched.
We're going to put it on my tombstone. I'm in negotiations
Maybe
right now.
Play that every time ECU scores.
That's a good idea.
ECU Athletics social media will play.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
But yeah, I mean, it's Brian, like we're working through right now. I mean, some of our hospitality areas with Minji's and Harvey Hall. How much are we really going to be able to do?
Yeah.
Those are all indoor spaces. Indoor spaces are the one area right now that you got to be extra careful with. So we'll figure it all out. I think where John says it best, man, just appreciate your patience and understanding.
September 26th is the date for the UCF. What's the 24th? That was a Thursday night. Are you glad that it's not going to be a Thursday?
Thrilled.
Yeah.
I just think it gives us 2 more days, and then I think if we can get some fans in there, better preparation. But we don't know what that. I would imagine that game is going to be on ESPN or ESPN2.
Wow.
We'll know more. They usually release that probably in the next 10 days. But despite what people think, I saw some experts try to predict ECU's record for this year.
I saw some experts that weren't too kind
No,
to
they
East
weren't too
Carolina.
kind. So I'm looking forward.
It should be on the bulletin board over there.
Yeah,
at the
so I'm
locker
looking
room.
forward to kind of getting these guys on the football field as long as we can do it in a safe way. I'm looking forward to. I miss having the media around. Just don't see them as much. I'm telling you, on the 3rd floor, it's some Pirate Club members, some media relations, and like John and JJ. So I miss people. I'm a people person. I miss that.
We were over there today working on the Mike Houston show for television,
Nobody there.
and there was nobody there. But I had the same feeling you did, because those press conferences near the end of the year, you get to be a little bit where I hate to go, but now I'd love to be going to them. I miss all the guys. I go and Ronnie and all those guys hanging around. Some of the guys I don't even like. I miss those.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't miss Igo and Ronnie. I mean, that's your personal opinion. But
I like those guys.
I miss some of the other guys, seeing them. But hey, we're going to get there, man. We're going to come back, and Greenville is going to come out stronger as long as we do it together and stay together. So I've really enjoyed being on. I feel like it's an honor to be on your show.
I appreciate that.
Because I think, is it one day a week?
Yeah, I do. I do one hour a week.
That's what makes it special. Where anybody can have guests when it's 5 days a week, but the one day a week.
One day a week, you're there.
It's something I'll never forget.
You're the man, Ryan Robinson, joining us, the Executive Associate AD for External Affairs. Ryan, thanks so much for your time today. If you need anything our way, please give us a call. We'll help you all we can. That's for sure.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Pirate Radio.
And we're looking forward to September the 26th, East Carolina and UCF, the Knights and the Pirates. Man, we just got to get there, don't we? That's for sure. All right, thanks to Ryan Robinson. That's our show for today. We'll see you back here next week on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on